This is George Dionne with Metal Express Radio, and I'm here with Marta Gabriel. How you doing, Marta?
Hi, George. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing fine as well, and thank you for having me.
No problem. You are the front woman and guitarist for Crystal Viper, but you're releasing your first solo album, Metal Queens, on July 30th. It's a covers album, so I have to ask, was this an album kind of born out of the being locked down and not being able to tour and just wanting to create music?
Yes, that was one of the reasons, but actually there were more. First of all, when we finished working on the Cult album last year, and it was in summer because in August the album was completely ready, we started to work on some additional projects, which I was talking about a lot actually when I was speaking about the Cult album. And this was one of the projects. My solo album was one of those projects that we were working on, and and Metal Queens is not the only one project that we were working on. So stay tuned, more surprises are coming very soon. But after the Cult was done, we knew that there were no live shows, no touring. We couldn't still meet with guys from the band. So we started to work on more things musically. You know, when you are a musician, you try to do everything to stay as active as possible. And this is what I've done. You know, I love to work on music, to create music, and I also love to work on cover songs. And there are also many reasons why. First of all is that I believe that this is what I always say, you know, I believe that every person on earth has his own favorite song, which this person can sing in the kitchen, you know, while cooking dinner or while taking a shower and so on. But when you are a musician, you can sing your favorite song with your bandmates, for example, during rehearsal, or you can record it on your album, or later you can even perform it live on live show. And then there is a kind of a double fun because you have fun when you are performing this song. And audience is also having fun because if they came to your live shows, it means that they love this song as well. Because I always record songs of artists that influenced me. By recording cover songs, I try to show to my audience, especially to younger ones, where I am coming from musically. And it's exactly the same with Crystal Viper. We have never recorded a cover song that, for example, of a band that isn't important for us in any ways. I mean, there is always a band that inspired us, influenced us, or an artist who influenced us, or song from an artist who had a huge impact on our, you know, on our music. And I was also always a big fan of female voices in heavy metal and especially in classic heavy metal. And working on this album was something great for me. You know, I was singing my favorite songs from, you know, from my favorite vocalists and so on. So yeah, this was great. And I was working on this album with my bandmates, with my colleagues from Crystal Viper. So that was simply beautiful.
So I'm guessing one of your biggest influences is Lee Aaron, because the cover is an homage to Metal Queen, and obviously you cover Metal Queen. So I'm guessing Lee Aaron's at the core of this whole covers album.
Yeah, I would say she's one among others, you know, because the truth is also that it's not like I have only female metal heroes, you know, because there are more of them. When you speak about vocalists, there has been always Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson, David DeFace from Virgin Steel, and Tony Martin from Black Sabbath. What a voice! And among, you know, female vocalists, of course, Lee Aaron, what a voice! As well as Jutta Weinhold from Zodiago, Leather Leon, and so on. Yeah, so there are actually a lot of. I would say that many different kind of voices influenced me as a vocalist, and they are not only female vocalists.
With this collection, you kind of found some bands I had never heard of, so I think you're going to introduce people to a lot of different music that came out in the 80s. Like, I had never heard of Acid or Black Lace or Maltese or Santa. I mean, how did you discover these acts? Are they big in Poland?
Well, first of all, if you didn't know those bands and now you know, my mission is complete, you know? Because another thing is that I also wanted to record those songs because some of them were recorded in the 80s, and the actual versions of the songs from the 80s, some of them are not in the very good quality. So, and these are amazing songs, and I really wanted to record them again with a good quality, with good production, with 21st century production, and so on. And what was your question? Actually,
how did you discover sort of these more obscure acts?
Yeah, sometimes when I start to talk, I forget what was the question. Yeah, regarding those bands, I don't remember the exact moment when I found those bands. I was simply a kind of a person who was searching for a band inside the genre, you know. When I was a teenager, I started listening to heavy metal music with bands like Virgin, Steel, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, and so on. And after my friends knew that I listened to those bands, they were keep on giving me CDs and vinyls with other bands and so on. And then I was searching even more, and it was just like I found those bands one day, and that's it, and I loved them. So this is not like, and I actually had this question not so long time ago. Someone asked me if this is really music that I listen, or if there is someone else who chose those songs for me. No, there wasn't anyone else who chose those songs, because when it comes to female vocalists in classic heavy metal, because we are still speaking about classic heavy metal genre, this is the music that I listen, and those are the artists that I've always admired and I liked. And the truth is, the list of songs was much longer than actually those 11 songs, because there were more artists and more bands, and I had to limit myself to only this number of songs because we wanted to release this album on vinyl as well. And when you want to release an album on a vinyl, the time is very limited. There is a specific time that you can use to put on the album, on the vinyl, to get it sound good. So yeah, this time we have only 11, but I really hope, and I would love to record, for example, Metal Queens Part 2, because there are songs that I haven't recorded and I wanted to. So yeah, but if you don't know bands like Acid, Maltese, Black Lace, you surely have to try them on and to listen to those bands, especially if someone is a fan of this genre of music, which is classic heavy metal, because those bands really rock.
And I think you remain true to the artist and your love of the artist, because you didn't change the songs too much. You kind of played them straight. You didn't do any strange arrangements. You didn't try to mix it up and kind of make it your own. You just kind of played it straight tribute.
Yes, and there is also a reason why I do that. In general, not only on this album, but with Crystal Viper, I've never liked to change the arrangement, and I will tell you why. If I choose a song to cover, to record with my band, I don't like to change its arrangement, because I chose the song because it's great as it is. If it would sound different, it wouldn't be the same song, and I wouldn't love it, as it wouldn't, I don't know, as if it wouldn't sound different. So I always respect the original version, because this is the version that I loved from the first hearing. And And this is the way that I want to record this song. If I decided to record it, I'm not recording it because I want to change it. I want to record it because it's a great song. And after I record this song, I want to get it sound to be similar to the original because it's a great composition. It's, for me, it's simple.
One of the songs that you covered was Rebel Ladies by Zed Yago. And one of the things I found out is that the singer Judah Weinhold, she went on to form the band Velvet Viper. So I wanted to know if Velvet Viper kind of influenced the name of your band Crystal Viper.
No, it didn't, because Crystal Viper I believe it was created before I found Velvet Viper. So
fair enough.
But it's a great band, another band for heavy metal maniacs to listen to give it a chance to listen to, because it's a great one, as well as the Diago with Yuta. And Yuta is an amazing vocalist. Wow. And I remember I've seen her live, I don't know, it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and she's still fantastic. Man, what a voice on stage, what kind of presence and so on. And the same with Leather Leon. I also have seen her on stage. I met her in person. She's a lovely, lovely woman, really. And she sings beautiful. I would say that Jutta Weinhold and Leather Leon are, in my opinion, are probably the best metal singers nowadays.
Absolutely, and they were performing at a time where it was difficult to be a female front woman in a band. And you actually sort of answered my next question as far as, have you had the chance to either meet some of these performers or play with some of these performers?
I've only met in person. The only person I've met in person was Leather Leon.
She's a nice lady, and she's still going at it. A few of these artists are still going at it. I mean, to go back to Lee Aaron a little bit, she doesn't really do heavy metal anymore. She kind of switched a little bit to a little harder rock, a little more pop radio. Could you see yourself doing something like that as your career goes forward?
Of course, because I don't limit myself, classic heavy metal is not the only genre of music that I listen and that I love. I like to listen blues music as well. There are some songs from jazz that I like, for example, but I also like rock. I like good pop music when it's good. And the truth is, most of good pop music comes from the 80s.
It's true.
I could perform music like that. So, I'm not saying no to... let me put it that way. If I will have a chance to record music that I will like, I will do that. Because this is what music should do, to you as a musician and also as a listener. You as a fan of music, you are listening to music that you like, right? Me as a musician, I want to perform music that I like. And there are many genres of music that I like. So I absolutely don't limit myself. And actually, when I'm composing music, it's not only metal. I like to play some classics on my piano. I like to sing some songs from musicals and play along with on the piano. So I believe there are many interesting things to do musically in future still for me.
That's great. Let's talk about the term female-fronted metal. So you kind of indicate in the press release, it's not very fair because there's no male-fronted metal. So let's talk a little bit about kind of defining you like that. I mean, you're a heavy metal artist. You head up a metal band that just happen to be female on top of it. So is the female-fronted metal label or genre fair?
If for me it's a kind of a hint, When, for example, for me, I am a fan of heavy metal bands with female vocalists. So when I see label female fronted metal, for me it's a kind of a hint that I might like this band. But for me it's absolutely not a genre of metal. I believe it comes from times when bands with, I mean, we still don't have that many bands with women behind the microphone. So maybe we women, we are still kind of something unusual for some people. So maybe that's why people keep on using that female fronted metal label. You know, if someone feels comfortable with that, it's okay. But for example, you can say that, I don't know, Nightwish and Chastain are the same band. And on both of them, you can say they are female fronted metal, right? But this is something completely different. So I think it's cool to use it, but only if it's a kind of a hint, as I said. But it's not absolutely a genre of music for me at all.
Well, I think people would know that it's female-fronted metal as soon as they heard you sing a note. But at least the term has been embraced by the metal community. Have you ever been in a situation where being a female leading up a band was an issue? You faced some hate or you faced some dickishness because they didn't want to take you serious?
You know, we are human beings, and from time to time, we kind of find ourselves in a kind of a shitty situations. But I believe that someone, for example, treated me bad because he's an asshole and not because I'm a woman. And I will tell you why I think this is my way of thinking. I started playing instruments when I was 7. My parents sent me to music school when I was a child, and there were both boys and girls in music school. And there wasn't, and I don't remember a situation when someone was treated better or worse only because of being male or female. What was most important was talent. And I believe it's still most important when it comes to music. And it doesn't matter, for me, if it's pop, blues, metal, or, I don't know, classical music. When it comes to be male or female in music, I still believe most important it's talent. Talent is something that really counts. And of course, I was treated bad many times, both for example, on backstage in the club, but as well as in grocery store. So I believe in grocery store, I wasn't treated bad because I'm a woman in a grocery store. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I know what you mean.
People are assholes, and I don't spend my time on thinking, oh, this person treated me bad. Why? Maybe because I'm a woman. This is not my way of thinking, and to be honest, I really don't pay a lot of attention to this kind of stuff. I focus on creating music, doing my job, and that's it. And if someone feels uncomfortable with that, well, that's his problem, not mine. I feel fantastic in metal music, so yeah.
You have a couple of special guests that appear on the new covers album. You have John Gallagher of Raven, Harry Conklin of Jagpanzer, and Todd Michael Hall of Riot V. You've actually done a song before with Todd. I believe it was a song from the Lady Gaga movie. I'm not too familiar with that. But how did you kind of pull these guys in for this project?
I'm friends with all of them. And with Todd, Shallow Song, it's not the only song we recorded together, because some few years ago we also recorded together song from Riot, Thunder Steel. I recorded with Crystal Viper cover from Riot, and I invited Todd to sing with me. I met Todd many years ago when I was live guitarist for American band Jack Starr's Burning Star, and he was a singer back then in Jack Starr band. So I went on tour with them, and this is how I met Todd. And since then, we remain friends, and we were still in touch and so on. And with Harry, well, I'm also friends with Harry, especially we are good friends. I believe we met in Greece probably many years ago when I was playing there with Crystal Viper, and he was performing with one of his bands. I don't remember if it was Jack Panzer, maybe, or Titan Force. I really don't remember, but this is how we met, and we kept in touch since then. And with John from Raven, we were about to go on tour together. Raven, Crystal Viper, and Wolf, but due to current pandemic situation, the tour was, rescheduled so many times that right now we are not sure when it's gonna happen, but I really hope it will happen. But yeah, we know each other, and when I was working on Metal Queen's album, I thought it would be cool idea, to invite some guests as well, and I came up with an idea to invite musicians that are not women, to make it, to make the album more unpredictable, because if I would invite my friends who are female vocalists, it would be so obvious. And the truth is that I have so many friends among female vocalists in metal music that I simply wouldn't be able to invite all of them. And I really wanted to stay away from the situation that, for example, I invited this person but forgot about this one, or didn't invite this one, and so on. But I also thought that it would be kind of interesting to sing songs together with Harry and with Todd, especially because I recorded with them already songs in the past. With Todd, as you mentioned, the cover song from Lady Gaga and Thunder Steel from Riot. And Harry also recorded guest vocals for one song on, it was probably Possession album from Crystal Viper. Yes, it was Possession album, so I sang with Harry already in the past as well. And our voices always sounded good together, so I decided to invite them as well. And with John, I simply thought it would be a cool idea to invite him as a bass player, especially because, I recorded all bass tracks for this album, and I thought it would be something very cool to invite another bass player for one song. And I really love the final idea. The final result, I'm sorry. As I told you, I didn't have much sleepless night.
So what's going on with Crystal Viper in the meantime?
Well, we are working on the new songs. We are recording some stuff, which I cannot tell you what are they at the moment. And we started actually to prepare ourselves for the forthcoming live shows, but we started to prepare ourselves for the forthcoming live shows, even knowing that we are not sure if they will happen. But if they will happen, then we will be ready. So yeah, that's the plan for the moment. There are still a lot of things to do, many things to record and so on. So
if you do get out there live with Crystal Viper, you're going to try to work in a couple of these Marta Gabriel cover songs?
With Crystal Viper, no, because this is something different. And but I would love to take Metal Queen's project on tour, and I actually got some offers already, and I think it would be a fantastic idea. And the other thing I loved about taking, Metal Queens on tour is that I would go on tour with my bandmates from Crystal Viper. So everybody from Crystal Viper would go on that tour. So that would be fantastic. Even though that I recorded bass guitar for this album, live on stage, I still prefer to play guitar. So Crystal Viper bass player Blaze would go on that tour. You see, I have everything planned already.
That's good.
Yeah, but that would be great. I would love to sing those songs live. Yeah, to give them a second life.
Excellent. And the new album is Metal Queens. It comes out on July 30th on Listenable Records. I wish you the best of luck for it. That's all the questions I have for you today. I want to thank you for coming on Metal Express Radio.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all those kind words. Thank you for your support. Yeah, stay heavy.